things that have been seen this morning, like the whirlwind and the gold and the portal and the twigs and the fire, do you realize they're all happening right now still? God is, and we've been talking a lot about this. It's just a review because different people come in at different times. It's all around us now. Maybe not those exact same things, but something similar. The Lord's getting us to the place He's starting to show us some of this stuff because that's the realm where He lives, and we've asked to be intimate with Him. And sometimes He lets you come over to His house. See, we're so used to the thought, at least, maybe not the practice, of Him coming in and coming to our house and invading our house. But if it's really, I no longer call you servants, but I call you friends. And friends, I show you why I'm doing what I'm doing, because that's what friends do. Friends want to share their houses. They want to share where they live. Just think about it. Is God right now just sitting in nothingness? Well, we think He is because we don't see it. But where He's at and what He's doing is a whole nother realm, a whole nother world, creatures we cannot imagine, things going on that we cannot imagine. Just a whole nother world. It's right there now. And we as Christians, we get so freaked out. Somebody saw this or saw that. All you did was visit where He's at. That's how it was in the Garden of Eden. There was no barrier. Callie saw a crack. Thank the Lord for the crack, and we saw some things through that crack. Other words are thin veil, portals opening up. Do you realize that when you were created, or your great-grandfather and grandmother, Adam and Eve, were created in the Garden of Eden, it was always open. They had 5 physical senses, but when they sinned, the spiritual died. Their 5 spiritual senses died. You can see it through the Bible. It says, taste and see that the Lord is good. There's many times where there's smells. Of course, we hear and see. And as we learn to walk with the Lord more and more, it's really an honor instead of weirdness. Oh, wow. He's letting us walk the way we were originally created. He's allowing us to see with our 5 spiritual senses. We in Christianity have gotten so far from the normal that when the normal comes in, we call it the abnormal. So just expect more and more dreams. 2,000 years ago, not yesterday. From a prophecy 1,000 years before that, Peter at Pentecost quoted Joel 2. And he said, in the last days, which started then. All the last days mean, that's gotten so perverted with our eschatology and our end times. The last days just means the days after Jesus rose again from the dead. And it's a countdown till He comes back. It's not the last day with a capital D, but it is the last days. He said, your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Your young men, your maidservants, men and women, and your old men shall dream dreams. That is normal Christianity. That's cool. And so I'm excited as more. You're going to hear more and more of this stuff. You go, well, I've never heard that before. Well, how much time have you spent at His house? I hadn't spent much time. Not that I didn't want to, but His house is big. Fields, galaxies. It's not just the throne room you see at the end of Revelation. We often go, we want to see all that after we die. Well, that's because then your spirit is alive. But He, because of the cross, can make your spirit live, start making it alive now. Adam and Eve didn't have to die because there was no concept of dying to walk in His house, in His lands, in His place. you ever thought about that? Maybe your mind's being expanded a little bit. And it just shows how far we've come to call the abnormal, which is just to live in this realm, even though you were created a tripart being with a spirit, soul, and body. And as He starts waking up our spirits, it's just cool. And He's putting us back to normal. And it's fun. Any questions on that or comments before we move on? I'm just in a whole different, wasn't planning on going down any of this road. But I want us to understand this. Am I there? No, but I've experienced some of it. I'm looking forward to more and more of it.